let's break down games 3 and 4 from the Utah Mammoth.
Let's talk some Mammoth.
Yeah, let's do.
But first, folks, before we get into the content, we'd like to encourage you to join the conversation in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to Utah Mammoth DNA and smash that like button for your boy AJ right over there.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, it's been an eventful playoff series so far for the Utah Mammoth. Last week, we covered the first 2 games on the road, which Utah was able to earn the split and get the Game 2 win, bring it back to Salt Lake. And Game 3, man, Game 3 was historic for Utah. First playoff game in Utah at Delta Center.
Yeah.
Not the Delta Center, at Delta Center.
Delta Center.
If you guys know, you know. Utah jumps out to an early lead in this one, man, scoring 2 goals in the first period. Uyghur opens up the scoring with, about 5 minutes into the first period, and with a shot between the circles, basically. Dylan Gunther converted on a power play with about 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in that period with a slap shot of his own at the top left circle. And then we also have Lawson Crouse, who scored twice within 6 minutes of each other in the second period.
Yeah.
Veggie had 30 saves on the night. Utah controlled the middle game pretty much all game long. And Mammoth came out with a win, man, 4-2.
Yeah, it was really a great game. And I think this game really kind of, it talked about Utah's depth. You could tell that home crowd was just really, really engaged. And I mean, Veggie looked great the whole game. It's awesome to have a goaltender that just goes out there and just does a great job in the net and just keeps you in every single one of these games. It was nice to see Utah kind of control this one. They needed, we talked about it last week, but they needed a statement win, right? They needed to show that they could go out there and not just squeak by, but win that game in a pretty commanding way. So it was a really fun game to watch. It's nice to have a little bit of pressure off knowing, they had a decent lead most of the game. So it was a great one.
Absolutely. The atmosphere outside with the party going on the promenade out there.
Yeah.
It was really great. It was great to see. It was great to see Utah come out and, really support their hockey team pretty much as they did all year. Apparently it was a year to the day that they brought the team to Utah that day.
Oh, really?
So the day that we were out there on that promenade welcoming that team into Utah was the exact same day a year later for their, obviously not a year later, 2 years later for their first official
That's actually
game.
really cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I caught that from local news coverage, by the way.
That's impressive.
The one time I had the local news on. I happened to be talking
I was going
about
to say,
hockey.
who does that?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. We got a comment here from Greg Hawkins. Let's go. Thanks for joining in, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg.
And then this is great. Thanks, Greg. Excellent transition work. Yeah, AJ's killing it over there.
Killing it, dude.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's his first day. It's all good.
First day.
It's all good. We also got another comment here from a friend of the channel, Tammy Price. Let's see here. It was fun to watch. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely interesting to see, especially when it comes to the Utah Mammoth. You're seeing a lot of non-traditional hockey fans enjoying this playoff series.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And really kind of getting into it in a way that, they probably might not have gotten into the regular season, at least for the last 2 years. And now they're like, oh, hey, this is what Utah hockey's about. I'm all in, So,
yeah.
So it's probably going to see a lot more transition into a lot more local fans, kind of casual fans, kind of tuning in a little bit more to the Mammoth, kind of like what we talked about on a previous episode last week.
Yeah.
So be sure to check it out. It won't be linked anywhere because neither one of us could be bothered to do that. So, but let's go ahead and jump ahead to Game 4. This is a game. This game was for a game that's not featuring the team from Minnesota. There were sure a lot of wild swings in this one.
Yeah.
Did you see what I did there?
I did.
There you go.
I did.
Yeah. Anyway, the Golden Knights raced out to an early 3-0 lead with 2 goals in the first, 1 early in the second in the second quarter. We got these 3 goals from Dorfieva. Probably not right. And we also have Howden and Cole Smith scoring those 3 goals. 2 coming in the first period, 1 coming early in the second. Utah did come back by scoring 4 straight unanswered goals of their own, AJ.
Yeah.
You got Nick Schmaltz and Ian Cole both scoring within 30 seconds of each other in the second period. Kind of a theme for Utah that we got going on there. Michael Carconi tied it up with another slap shot with 1:44 in the third, on the clock in the third. Veggie had 31 stops to Hart's 27. And, of course, there's that overturned goal by the Knights from the Knights in early OT that got overturned because of the offsides call. Then you also had Shea Theodore score on a snapshot from the high slot with 51 seconds left in overtime. Vegas was able to beat the Utah Mammoth 5-4, bringing the series back to Vegas even at 2-2.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you happen to watch any of the overtime?
Yes.
Dude, that was must watch hockey.
Yes.
It was so intense. Like overtime started and I couldn't. It's funny because I was watching it on my phone and my wife was like, just put it on the TV already. And I put it up and I was like, this is so crazy. Like it was high intensity. I mean, it was fun to see Utah really just show the resilience, right? Going down 3-0, that is a tough storm to weather. Like, at what point do you just kind of throw in the towel, right? And you're like, okay, I guess we just move on to the next one. But they stayed with it. They got some goals back. The game was high scoring. It was back and forth. Like, the momentum was just swinging both ways. In the overtime period, it was like Utah came out storming to start it. They were like, okay, we're going to get it. This is what we were fighting for, right? And then the momentum just swung back. After that, like Vegas had kind of recaptured some of it, and they were really pushing a lot of pressure on the net. And then then the shot that was called back from the offsides, and then Utah came out screaming again, all over the place. But then you kind of saw the momentum swing back to Vegas. Utah couldn't get the puck cleared back up the ice, and we had a couple drops, and it was brutal. Like you could kind of feel the momentum just slipping away from the Mammoth as right before they got that goal because they couldn't get the ice clear. They couldn't get it cleared.
Yeah, no, and it's one of those things that you were looking at, man. When it comes to that game, it was clear that when it got into overtime, the Mammoth is going to have to figure out a way to combat the physicality of Vegas.
Yeah,
because the speed by that point, when you scored 4 unanswered goals, you're going to get started to get a little gas. You can kind of see that, and the speed just wasn't there in overtime like it was in regulation. So, yeah. But if you're going to lose a game, AJ, that's the way you're going to want to lose.
Yeah.
You go down 3-0 and you punch back hard.
Yep.
I love seeing that because, again, to your point on game 3, it showed you that this team is not just going to get away with one and try and squeak by a win. It showed you that, hey, we're here to play. We can play with these types of players. We could play this type of hockey and still, we could play our style of hockey against your style of hockey and still prevail. So you absolutely love to see it. Great to see. And obviously the puck's about to drop here in about 20 minutes from our talk. So basically by the time we post this, all this content will be irrelevant. So it's great.
But we had to talk about it anyway.
We needed to talk about it.
Yeah.
We needed to talk about it.
Yeah, we had to.
I actually wanted to I have a bone to pick with you about this one. I need to ask a question.
Okay, I'm ready.
They had 2 days off between games 3 and 4, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
I don't know. That actually really confused me too, especially being here.
Yes. So why did they have 2 days off if it was here? And why did we only have 2 days off if one of the travel days were back to Vegas? So they only had 2 days off between game 4 and the game start tonight.
Well, they only had 1 day off.
Yeah, so they had 1 day off and a travel day.
Yeah.
2 days between games.
Yeah.
So why did we have 2 days between games 3 and 4 when no one had to go anywhere?
Yeah.
And was it just the TV stuff?
It had to be TV scheduling. That's the only thing that I can come up with.
I thought game 4 was going to be the day before.
Yeah.
So I was looking for the game. I'm like, well, why isn't this on here? And then it comes out, oh, it's tomorrow. I'm like, tomorrow?
Yeah.
And I started looking back at the schedule. I'm like, how many times times do they need? Because, relatively new to hockey. We're new to hockey fans, right? Maybe they don't play a whole bunch of back-to-backs or 1 games off or what have you. Maybe this is just a scheduling thing that they do. They need. No, I've seen them play 2 games with 1 day off plenty of times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just a playoff thing. No, the only thing I can see is that it's a TV thing. And I think that really hurt the Mammoth and killed the momentum.
Yeah.
If you can't carry that whooping from game 3 over to game 4 because you gave them 2 days, I think that really kind of hurt the Mammoth's chances of coming away with a win in game 4. Yeah. I don't know. To me, it just kind of seemed like a little,
I agree though, because it was tough, and you think those players you get so hyped up, and you can keep some of that rush going into game 4 if you're one day off, go out, get a quick practice in, back to the ice the next night.
Yeah.
I feel like you got a chance, but 2 days off just seemed crazy.
Yeah. Favor then swings back to the veteran team that's been there before.
Yeah.
Which is the Knights. So I just kind of felt like it was kind of a shot towards the Utah team about having that home ice advantage. Basically, just kind of felt like it was baked in the schedule that would be taken away from them there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just didn't seem right. I didn't like it. Yeah, I just want to bring that up. What's your prediction for tonight?
Whew. This game is pivotal. This could really decide some of this series.
Yeah.
But I think the Mammoth got a chance. I mean, absolutely. Like you said, I think that they can carry some of that momentum that they had on the tail end of game 4. Yes, I understand it was a loss, but they had a ton of momentum to come back and prove that resilience where they came all the way back from 3-0. Hopefully they carry some of that momentum into this next game and just go out firing and go up early, get the momentum swung your way, and just keep trucking through this team.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'd love to see them come away with a win in this one. However, I am not shaken if they come away with a loss in this one, because I think the Utah Mammoth have proven that they can go back to back and win one at home and on the road against this team.
Yeah.
So obviously they want to win tonight. You want to win this game tonight. I think they showed that they can compete with this team, scoring 4 unanswered goals and just happen to blow it in overtime, and at the end of regulation and then in overtime, obviously, because they gave up that goal late when they had the lead. But the point is that they've shown that they can punch back, and they show that they can win on the road against this team, while Vegas is probably going to be favored simply because that they are the veteran team that have been here before.
Yeah.
I don't think you can count Utah out either way if they come away with a win tonight or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on tonight's game? Do you think the Mammoth are going to be able to pull it out? Phrasing. You think they're going to come away with a win on this one? And we want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. We got Pacific Northwest Ute jumping into the chat here saying Mammoth comeback, major
Tusk testes.
Exactly. I like it. That's perfect. Love it, man. Love it. Thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. Love having you on there. Once again, folks, thank you for watching Utah Mammoth DNA. We'd like to encourage you to join the conversation in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to Utah Mammoth DNA if this is the type of content that you enjoy. While you're down there, smash that like button for your boy AJ right over there.
Do it.